Hey class, in 12.3 we will be moving between measurement systems. The learning targets that we will focus on will be selecting appropriate types of measurement between customary and metric measurement systems, selecting appropriate units for each type of measurement, and converting from one unit to another in different systems. Take a look at the lesson introduction. It says, have you ever traveled to a different country? If you have, you probably have noticed that gasoline is sold in liters. You may have also noticed that the distances between locations is written in kilometers. In fact, the speed limit signs may have also shown kilometers per hour. Although these show examples of the metric system, there are some things that are displayed in both metric and customary measurement systems. For example, most car speedometer displays have both miles per hour and kilometers per hour. If we turn to page 794, we're going to start off problem number 1 by looking at a couple of estimating conversions to help you convert among the metric and customary measures. So let's take a look at the bullet points that we see. The first one, it says 1 meter is about the same length as 1 yard. 1 yard is just a little shorter than 1 meter. 1 inch is about 2.5 centimeters. 1 kilometer is a little more than half of a mile. 1 foot is about 30 centimeters. 1 liter is about the same as 1 quart. Quart is just a little less than a liter. A kilogram is a little more than 2 pounds. And if you multiply a temperature in degrees Celsius by 2 and then add 30 to estimate the temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Let's take a look at number 1. It asks you then to estimate each measurement conversion. So using the bullet points that we just went over and the estimates that they gave you up at the top to help you convert, go ahead and answer number 1, A through E with your group members. So let's take a look at letter A. If the speed limit is 100 kilometers per hour, what is the approximate speed limit in miles per hour? You can see I have the third bullet point arrowed. 1 kilometer is a little more than half a mile. So you're going to take 100 divided by 2 to give you 50 miles per hour. If we take a look at letter B, it says a gas station sign reads $2.20 per liter. About how much is the gas per gallon? If we look at that fifth bullet point with the estimate, it says 1 liter is about the same as 1 quart. Remember, there's 4 quarts in a gallon, so if we took 220 times 4, we would get $8.80 for letter B. Letter C, the distance to Toronto is 548 kilometers. About how many miles is that distance? Again, the same estimate that we used for letter A. 1 kilometer is a little more than half of a mile, so if we take half of 548, we get 274 miles for letter C. For letter D, you are ordering 5 kilograms of food pellets for your guinea pig. About how many pounds are you ordering? If you look at the second to last bullet point, 1 kilogram is just a little more than 2 pounds, so 5 times 2 would give you about 10 pounds. And finally, for letter E, if the temp is 20 degrees Celsius, what is the approximate temp in Fahrenheit? This would be 70 degrees. If you take a look at that last estimate, we are taking 2 times the temperature in Celsius. So 2 times 20 would give you 40, and we are adding 30 to that, which would give you 70 degrees. Let's take a look at page 795 in problem 2. It says in problem 1, you converted metric measurements to customary measurements. Now you will use the common conversions shown in the table to convert between customary and metric measurements. You can see that the table at the top of page 795 is divided up into 3 categories. We are dealing with length, mass, and capacity, much like we've talked about in the units of measure before. Underneath the table it says to convert between systems you can scale up or scale down using ratios. 2 methods are shown to determine how many kilograms are in 2.5 pounds. If you take a look at the two methods, you can see that the bottom method is really the scaling up method. You can see that I have the conversion factor circled from the table in the top, and we are just really scaling up to calculate the number of kilograms and 2.5 pounds based off of that conversion factor. If you look at the top example, this is really just what we have been doing as far as following those same three simple steps in order to convert from one unit of measure to another. All you have to do is take a look at the conversion factor. Again, you're asking yourself large to small or small to large, and you end up multiplying to calculate the number of kilograms in 2.5 pounds, again using that conversion factor that I have circled. So if you write out the problem like we're used to seeing, you have 2.5 pounds, and how many kilograms is that going to be? Is that large to small or small to large? We can see from the table that that is indeed large to small. So now we refer to step 2, how many kilograms are in 1 pound? 0.45. So we multiply 2.5 by 0.45 to get 1.125. If you are more comfortable scaling up, or if you would just like to continue to use the same steps like we have been with the customary and metric system, feel free to use whichever method that you like the best. On page 796, we see a problem situation where we might have to cross over from one system of measure to another. It says for number 1 that you want to redecorate your bedroom. To redecorate, you need to measure the room for new carpeting, paint, and a border on the walls. You realize that you have only a meter stick, not a ruler or a yardstick. You measure the room, but you need to know the dimensions in inches and feet in order to purchase the materials. So you record the following measurements. The length of the room is 5 meters, the width is 4 meters, and the height is 2.5. So what I would like you to do with your group members is go ahead and answer A through D. Please make sure that you refer back to that conversion table back on page 795. Let's take a look at letter A. 5 meters is going to be equal to how many inches? If you refer back to the table on page 795 like we talked about, there are 39.37 inches in 1 meter. So we are going large to small. We are going to multiply 5 times 39.37 to get 196.85 inches. 5 meters, how many feet is that going to be equal to? There are 3.28 feet in 1 meter. So again, we are going large to small. 5 times 3.28 is going to give you 16.4 feet. For letter B, now we just want to know how many inches are in 4 meters and how many feet are in 4 meters, because that is the width of the room. So again, same conversion factors as we used in letter A. 39.37 times 4. Since we're going large to small, is going to give you 157.48 inches. 4 times 3.28, since there are 3.28 feet in 1 meter, it's going to give you 13.12 feet for letter B. Same conversion factors for letter C. 39.37 times 2.5 is going to give you 98.425 inches. And for feet, 3.28 times 2.5 is going to give you 8.2 feet for the height of the room. And finally, if we take a look at letter D, it says there are 39.37 inches in a meter, like we know from the conversion factor. Explain then to a classmate how many feet are in a meter. So you should have just a little over 3 feet in a meter, because a meter is 39.37 inches, and you should know that there are 36 inches in 3 feet, excuse me. So therefore, it is 3 feet with about 3.37 inches left over. That should be your answer for letter D. That is going to be it for 12.3 as far as moving between the measurement systems with metric and customary. What I would like you to do for homework is problem number 3, making the change on page 798. All I want you to do is number 1 through number 5 on page 798. That is it. So finish that up for homework, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask. Otherwise, make sure that you just refer back to that conversion table chart. Very, very helpful, and should make converting from one system of measure to the other as easy as possible. Thanks.